Chapter 11. Departure from Gresola. The best way to get away with something you should not be doing is to act like you absolutely should be doing it. The more nervous you act, the more suspicious you seem. However, if you act too suspicious, too innocent, you risk seeming suspicious. The Loud Thief from Thieves' Web by Lady Cecily. Pavokit. When we reached the house, Tolapolo was sitting on his bed, staring at the wall and, contemplating his life choices or something. Oh, great. We're back. He said, "What were we supposed to do? Get arrested?" Essin asked. He shrugged. Maybe. But Center won't be known to take down the Emperor, Wantu said. Be quiet, someone will hear you. Tolapolo glanced out the window. And there are plenty of other resistance groups. I'm sure one of them will take him down someday. No one will, probably. That is, us. Essin said. He's right. Just get back downstairs so we don't have to deal with you. Went back downstairs. Then asked where the library was and Warka gave her directions. I caught up with Syl. Hello. When we were buying food, Warka compared me to some shrimp from a book, one that you talk about a lot. He smiled. Oh, Ruins of Cinnis by Antonia Zvakalova. Some poet injustice. Silent shell creature runs around ruins with his sister and fights more of his siblings and basically looms the spirit of dreams. He answered, "Oh, why have I not heard of it? It got banned." Why? He shrugged. I don't know. Maybe the Emperor didn't like our weird magic. Maybe he thought it was too hard to understand. Maybe he didn't like Patila. Maybe he didn't like that Antonia was Powatinan. Who knows? I think he's fine with Powatinans. Not everyone on his army is. But why would he get frustrated trying to read it? Everything's either old-fashioned to the point of being unreadable, or in one case now outdated slang. Oh. He left and came back with the book. Here it is. Read it. I shook my head. I cannot. He blinked, confused. Wait, so me, a peasant from the middle of nowhere, can read, but the actual noble can't? I shrugged. My parents were terrible. Where did you learn to read? Mama couldn't. Papa loved his play so much, so when it was banned, he learned to read so he could still enjoy it. Then he taught Warnka and I so we could read it too, but she didn't care much for it. Nocza. Map of Powatina was spread out on Lepus's desk. I was around 6. Still not a great reader, but I could sound out some shorter words. Do you know what that one says? She pointed to the star at the center of Powatina. I already knew what it was, but I still read the Lepusian Draconic and Arachnes under it, shouting out the words under my breath. Va, ja, rom, ro, va, vi, rom, us. Va, ro, mo, sha. That one is Varomva. Everyone thinks it is the capital, but it is not. Good, said Lepus. And why does everyone say that it is? I frowned. Because it is the largest city-state? Good. And why is it not the capital? Because all the city-states have their own capital, like Gresola or Vessi. She smiled. You're good at this. We may make a geographer out of you. I frowned. What is that? She smiled. It is someone who studies maps. I shrugged. That does not sound like fun. She tapped my nose. Perhaps not to you, but to others it is quite fun. I had almost made it out of Gresola when a soldier stopped me. Vodka! He said. The use of the title surprised me. It was more respect than I'd received for, most of my life. I kept my head down. Yes, Patok? He frowned at me. You look familiar. You traitor. What? I masked my fear of surprise. No, I would never betray you. The Draconic are our brothers, and therefore so are the Cinnisans. It was partially true. We considered the draconic Powatina our brothers, but the draconic of Draco were more like our strange second cousins we only pretended to care about during major holidays. The Cinnisans were the crazy second cousins we suspected were working with the Mafia. He relaxed, his expression shifting to one of apology. I'm sorry, Patka. Continue on your way now. It is fine, Patok, I said. I walked away calmly. Whilst I could have gone to the stables, my only knowledge of their location was what Luiskezia told me, and it was too much of a risk. A stable hand would be less likely to report me, but there was still that chance. It would be better to wait until I arrived in Vix. I made it to Lova by nightfall. It was a small village that Luiskezia told me about. I made careful note of the moons that night. Riza was a waning gibbous, whilst Leah was a waxing gibbous, so it must have been during the third or fourth night of the waning gibbous. I would know the next night. I had been imprisoned for almost 3 weeks. That, or it had been over a month, but it still felt like a case, and I could see preparations for the solstice being made, so I doubted that. I slept just outside town and ventured in the next morning. It was eerily quiet. People were moving about, but they were doing so fearfully and quietly, without the village chatter I had expected. I headed for the tavern, keeping my head down and covering my chest with my cloak, and moving quickly and quietly, as the villagers were. The air in the tavern was quite a bit brighter than outside, with lively dancing to a piece played by a bard. So a current of anxiety still ran through it. A sign on the wall warned against overpowered bar fights, whilst another counted the time since the last. An old man with horns like a dragon, the short sleeves of an unmarried man, and a purple and yellow jester's hat greeted me. "Hello! Would you like a job to do?" "Yes, I would," I said. He blinked. "Really? That is the second time this month. What is going on?" I frowned. "What do you mean?" He blinked again. Do you really not know?" "Know what?" "Who I am?" He looked a little offended. "No, I had a guess, but I wanted to see where this was going." How do you not know?" You definitely look offended now. "This is a work of Warden, is it not?" It was now vibrating intensely and seemed to be glowing. So it is him. Still, I kept up my act of confusion. "Are you all right?" "No! He is the worst! He has stolen your freedom, and now you do not know of me!" He screeched on the last word, and then exploded, leaving the Chester's hat sitting there by the door. Everyone else turned to where we had been, and then turned back to what they were doing. But a few soldiers eyed me suspiciously, so I left. "All right, I suppose I will sell my things," I thought. I found the market and sold most of my suspicious possessions, getting 20 whole skrupetki from them. Footnote, skrupetki is the second most valuable Cinnisan coin. It's worth 50 pennies and 1/100th of a skrupa. After that, I got out before someone could question where I got the jewelry from. I'm making my way to the nearby village of Vitsov, where I bought new skirts, and as I did not think my robe looked that suspicious, it was easier to hide than my skirt, and plenty of people were wearing the same color. In addition to that, I bought a water bottle, a cloak, and a bag. I washed my old clothes, put them in the bag, and filled the bottle in the river. That night, Riza and Leah looked the same, meaning it had been the third night, and this was the fourth. I continued west, never staying in one place for too long, playing in taverns for money. I found a library somewhere and read as much as I could on wild fruits and vegetables, since whilst the ability to eat grass meant foraging was easy, I did want something besides grass to eat, and it gave me something less suspicious to sell. I left that village faster than most. On my way out of the village of Bowish, a soldier stopped me. "Stop right there!" My heart skipped a beat, but I kept my breathing steady and my face only confused. "What is it, Patok?" I asked. "You look familiar." His gaze made me feel like a bug under a magnifying glass. complete with being set on fire. What do you mean, Pavok? The traitor from Gresola. You look a lot like her, and we believe she's going west. She is? My heart pounded. He nodded. Where are you going? Vessi? I blurted it out before I could stop myself. Thankfully, I did not sigh, run away, shout, or bring my palm to my face as well. He narrowed his eyes. Vessi, what would you want there? I clasped my hands to my chest and put a look of admiration on my face. Oh, it is such a beautiful and historic city. The canals, the art, the buildings, all of it. I've always wanted a chance to see it, and now I finally have the chance. He frowned. He scoffed. Typical. Did he just use the wrong stereotype? I thought, as I resisted the urge to glare at them. And you're not trying to take a boat to Thor, he continued. I put one hand on my chest and looked disbelieving. What? No, of course not. I am actually trying to take a boat to Vix, I thought. He muttered something that I guessed was offensive. Then he looked at me for a moment and grunted. All right, you can go. I smiled. Thank you, Pavok. I ran off, hoping that he would think that excitement drove my steps rather than fear.